Getting your book listing right is not a simple task, and there are a lot of mistakes you could potentially make. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of those mistakes that you need to make sure you're avoiding, and instead show you exactly what you need to do to get a best-selling launch for your book. Now, this video is actually taken from my full 3.5-hour free Amazon KDP course, which I've broken down into separate videos in this playlist to make it much easier to digest. So once you're finished here, have a look through that playlist and find exactly which part of the Amazon KDP process that you need help with, and there will be a specific video for that. But for now, let's jump straight in with this video. So now we've created the book interior and the book cover files that we need to physically produce the book. We now need to move on actually listing the book, and before we do that, there's a little bit of theory to go and cover of how to optimize your book listing. So when it comes to KDP, there are two main parts of the listing. The keyword boxes would be included in this, but we've already covered keywords as part of this. Well, the first one is the book title, and the second one is the book description. Now I'm going to start with the book's title. So why your book's title is so important. Now, the main reason why your book title is so important is it's the main SEO driver. Most of your book's organic reach is going to come from the title. It also builds trust. A poorly structured book title can massively put off a potential customer and actually deter them from buying your book. And then finally, KDP guidelines. There are some strict KDP guidelines that you need to be aware of when it comes to book titles. So we're going to cover all of these in more detail. So number one, main SEO driver. So a book's title is the first thing that Amazon will look at when it's trying to match a customer's search to a product, or in this case, your book. Your title therefore needs to be optimized for SEO using keywords that you found during your keyword research. And it's also worth remembering that the title of your book has to appear somewhere on your book cover. It doesn't need to be the main thing, but as long as it appears somewhere on your book cover, then that is okay, but it needs to appear somewhere. So with that in mind, here's how to properly structure your title for SEO. And here's an example of a riddles book for smart kids that I found on Amazon that I thought was a really well-structured book title. So as you can see, it reads as the following: The Tricky Riddles Book for Smart Kids, 320 fun riddles, brain teasers, and trick questions for everyday family fun that boost brain power for ages 7 to 9 and 8 to 12. Now, as you can see in this title, they've included numerous individual keywords. Riddles Book for Smart Kids is a really good keyword. Fun riddles is also a great keyword. Brain teasers, also a great keyword. And you can see they've done all of this without having to spam the title with keywords. They have got 3 keywords in there, but the title flows really naturally and you don't feel as though this person is trying to stuff as many keywords as possible. This is a really good way of structuring your titles. Keywords are great to have in there, but just make sure you're not massively stuffing them and it still reads really professionally like this one. So moving on from the title to this aspect of building trust. Now, the first way, as I've just mentioned there, that your title can build trust is by not keyword stuffing or cramming as many keywords in the title as possible. If this person here just put loads of fun riddles, fun games for kids, for boys, for girls, it shows that they're trying to stuff the title, and that massively deteriorates your relationship with the potential customer because there's just no trust there. It's obvious you're just trying to spam the market. So a keyword stuffed title looks unprofessional and can put people off buying your product, which ultimately is a massive no-go. For example, if you had the title Animal Notebook for Kids, Fun Animal Book for Children, Boys, Girls who love lions, tigers, elephants and more, Gift for Birthday, Christmas, Xmas and Secret Santa, you can see how many keywords you're just trying to stuff in there. It doesn't read very naturally and looks really unprofessional. So definitely avoid doing your titles like this. Now, the second way you can build trust with your title is to have a grammatically correct and consistent title as well. So I always write my titles like this. Every single letter at the start of each word is capitalized. It looks professional, it looks neat, and just builds that trust with the customer. As you can see here, this person's created a notebook and they're just, the way they've structured their title and how they've written it out, it just looks really unprofessional. They haven't even capitalized their I. They've got, inconsistent capitalization. It really just doesn't look very good and massively puts the customer off buying. Always write your titles like this as it just looks a lot more professional. And then thirdly, KDP guidelines. Now, there are a few things you need to be careful of when creating a book title. There are some guidelines that Amazon KDP absolutely don't want you to do. So you don't want to have unauthorized reference to other titles or authors. So don't put any other well-known author names or book titles in your book. Let's say you had Harry Potter, for example. You wouldn't just put Harry Potter on your book cover because it's massively trademarked and you don't have the rights for it. And that links also into this reference of a trademark term. You can't use the term best-selling in your book title. You can't say it's free. You can't just use punctuations. And only using these words are also the things you can't do in your book title. So always double check before writing your book title. It should be relatively straightforward. These things should be common sense not to do, but they're just there to remind you. So that's the book title. Now moving on to the second part, which is the book description. So a big question that I get a lot is how important is your book description? Now, in my opinion, they are more important for conversion than they are for SEO. It's not necessarily a huge driver of SEO. That's mainly your keyword boxes and also your title and subtitle, but they are really important for conversion. And one thing that's really worth stressing here is because we're producing medium content kind of books, they aren't super complicated. It's quite obvious what the book is about already. It's not like it's a long 30,000 word book where you need to kind of sell the plot a little bit. They're very straightforward. It's a coloring book. It's an activity book. Whatever it is, it's quite obvious. The customer already knows what the book is. So instead of describing what's in the book, which most people will be doing, what you need to do is focus on what the book will do for the reader. So going into this in a bit more detail, no one cares about how great your book is. It's a fact. Customers don't care about how good your book is. They only care about what it can do for them. So let's take the example of a mileage logbook. Let's just say you had the description of 100 pages to record distance traveled, reason for travel, and more. You're just explaining what's in the book. You're not actually selling what the book does to the customer. On the flip side, all of this and everything within the interior of this mileage logbook is doing one thing: to claim all your mileage expenses easily. That's the physical thing that this product is going to benefit the customer. So I always say in the description, don't sell the product, sell the solution to their problem. So, book launch summary, title and subtitle. Optimize it for SEO using good keywords, but keep it professional and keep it relevant. And also make sure not to keyword stuff. In terms of your description, don't tell customers what they already know. Tell them how your book actually helps them. Sell the benefits, not the product. And with that covered, let's jump into the next video where I'm actually going to go ahead and list this book, implementing all of the things that I've just covered and show you exactly how I would do that. So in this video, I'm going to show you the process of actually uploading your KDP book to Amazon. And then once this is done, your book is live on Amazon and it'll be selling you every single day and making you money while you sleep. So go into your KDP dashboard and then just press this create button. And then we want to be selecting paperback because we are producing a paperback book. Now, the first thing we need to do is put in our book title. So if you'd cast your minds back to the keyword section, this is the title we're going for, just dementia coloring book. So we're going to go for book title, dementia coloring book. And then our subtitle was going to be this bold and easy coloring book for seniors. Let's go ahead and put that in. And one thing worth mentioning when it comes to capitalization and things, I would always capitalize the first letter of every single word. So bold and easy, it needs to be a capital E, capital C, capital B here, and then capital S. Words like for, of, and don't need to be capitalized, but something like that is much more professional looking than if it was all capitalized or if none of it was capitalized. So that's how I would type out my subtitle. So this is our overall title and subtitle. Dementia coloring book, bold and easy coloring book for seniors, 50 large print coloring pages of flowers, animals, food, and more. As we know, that is what is in our book. And we know this book title is really, really optimized for SEO too, because we did that during our keyword research. Now going down to the author name, it doesn't really matter what you put here, but we're just going to go for coloring. And then we're going to go for creations, just something I just thought off the top of my head. This can be your name, it can be your own brand name, it can be something completely random. I'm just going to go for coloring creations here. These two things we don't need to worry about. Contributors we also don't need to worry about. And now it comes to the book description. Now I mentioned earlier in this course, the whole point of a book description is to sell the benefits to the reader. So what I'm going to do is write up a very quick book description now and show you exactly why I've done it and what all of it means for the purpose of what a description should do. So I'm back, and as you can see, this description is done, and I'll talk you through what I've done. So the first bit is just an overall statement. This bold and easy coloring book is perfect for seniors who want to spark their creative side and create beautiful images. And then what I've done is focus purely on the benefits to the customer. I've not said this book is amazing, it has 50 images, it has animals, it has this, that, and the other, buy my book. That's not what I've done here. I've actually gone and just been laser focused on how it benefits the customer based on what I consider to be their main pain points. So I've said, enhanced creativity, engaging with simple yet captivating designs, rekindles the joy of creating art, providing a sense of accomplishment, cognitive stimulation. I'm not going to read all of these things out, but you can see it for yourself. Stress relief, motor skill improvement, and also social connection. So you can see I'm selling the benefit of the book, and all of a sudden, the customer who came to this thinking, oh, I want to have all of these things ticked off from my product, I've done exactly that in my book description, and my conversion rate is going to be really good. So once the description is done, you have the publishing rights. You say, I own the copyright and I hold necessary publishing rights, because everything you have done has been made yourself. It's a unique product to you, so you do have the copyright access. There is no sexually explicit images in the title. The reading age, it is optional. I'm just going to leave this blank because I don't think it's necessary. It literally says it's for seniors, so it doesn't need to be put 18 plus, because that can be anyone from 18 all the way up until seniors. So I'm just going to leave this blank. The primary marketplace is going to be Amazon.com rather than .co.uk or any of these, because we did all of our research on Amazon.com. And if you cast your minds all the way back to the niche research section, we found that dementia coloring books wasn't really a good niche in Amazon.co.uk store, but it was a good one in .com. So just select the primary marketplace, like it says, where you expect the majority of your book sales. Because our research was done in .com, that is what we're going to go for. You then have to choose some categories for your book. So just go ahead and press choose categories, and let's try and find ones for us. So it's a dementia coloring book. So we're going to probably want to go for something to do with health. So health, fitness, and dieting. Let's see what subcategories we have here. So mental health, I imagine there'll be something in here. So let's have a look. So you can see dementia. We want to put that as a category. What else can we potentially put in here? Let's just go for dementia there as our first category, and then add potentially another one. So let's just see what else we have here. So let's go for crafts, hobbies, and home. And then when it comes to subcategory, coloring books for grown-ups. And what other categories can we have in here? We have animals in our coloring book, so let's add that as a category. And we also have flowers and landscapes in there. So the more niche your category can be, the best chance you have of getting the bestseller rank in that category, because whoever sells the most books in these categories will get that Amazon bestseller badge, which is ultimately what you want. But that's something I cover in a lot more detail in my advanced KDP course. So for now, we're happy with these three categories. Go ahead and press save. And then we have the keywords. So going back again to our Google Sheets, we've already done all of the work for us. So dementia coloring books for elderly, this was our first one. So these first four are going to be our long tails. These final three are going to be our short tails. So that's all of our keyword research done. You can see how well we're going to be ranking for all of these certain search terms, which is great. Not only is our title SEO extremely strong, our keyword boxes are really strong as well. You also sometimes have to select whether you have a low content book like a journal, notebook, or planner, or a large print book. So all the content is 0.16 size or greater. Ours isn't actually any of these two categories, but if yours is, then go ahead and just press one of those. These two really don't matter, just leave these as they are, and then press save and continue, and that would take us on to the next stage. The next stage then is the paperback content. So this is where you actually upload the contents of your book. But first of all, you need to get an ISBN for your book. So you can either add your own. I generally wouldn't recommend doing this because they can be quite expensive. Just use KDP's free ISBNs. Every single book I've ever published has used a KDP ISBN. Just go ahead and press ISBN and then assign ISBN. And what this basically is the number that will appear above your barcode, and is essentially your own book's very own unique number. So we have our own ISBN here, and then you choose your print options. We want to go for black and white interior with white paper, so just leave that as it is. If your book for whatever reason is colored interior, then go ahead and choose the different options here. But I would generally avoid colored interiors because the printing costs just go up so much more. And now it comes to selecting our trim size. So as I mentioned, the majority of the books that I've ever published have either been 6x9, which is A5, or 8.5 by 11, which is A4. This book specifically is an 8.5 by 11 book, so we're going to go for that. Bleed settings, we're going to go for no bleed, because if it was something like a notebook where the lines bleed into the spine of the book, that is where you would put bleed, but because it's a coloring book, nothing bleeds into the center, so we don't need to do that. And then you can choose whether you want your cover to be matte or glossy. All of my books are just matte finishes. I don't think it really makes too much difference, but I'm just going to stick with matte. And now this is the part where you actually upload your 2 files. So the default for the book cover would be to use a cover creator. But what you want to do is click this button here and upload a book cover that you've already created. So I'm just going to go ahead now and upload those 2 files that we made earlier on in this course. And I'll be back once I've done that. So as you can see, these 2 files have now been uploaded. We don't need to check this box that says, yes, my cover has a barcode, because as you can see, Amazon have already added in their own barcode for us. The next section is then AI generated content. Now, Amazon are just asking if we've used AI in our books. They're not trying to trip you up. They just want to know. So just be completely honest with this. Text, we haven't used any. Translations, we haven't used any. But images, we have used some. We've used some on our front cover. And I would also imagine a lot of these images are AI generated too, but I'm not 100% sure. But for the safety of this, we're just going to go ahead and say many AI generated images with extensive editing. So basically what this means is, yes, we've used a lot of AI images in our books, but we have extensively edited them. We've created our own bespoke, unique product. We haven't just created an entire AI generated book. So we're just going to go ahead and press that. And then let's just say it was Midjourney, because that's where we created this image here. And I imagine a lot of these have come from Midjourney. If not, it would be DALL-E, but we're not entirely sure because we got it from Creative Fabrica, but just putting Midjourney is absolutely fine. So once you've done that, you have to then go ahead and press Launch Previewer. And this is going to basically give you a preview of your book and just double check all of your trim sizes and everything is as it should be. So as you can see, this is the preview for our book. So here is our front cover and our back cover. So it looks really, really good. And as you can see, there's no issues with any of the formatting because we've done all of our formatting correctly earlier in this course. Just click these arrows here to see the interior of the pages now. So you can see every left-hand page says page left blank to prevent bleed through. So every time someone colors in this right-hand page, nothing is going to bleed through onto another design here. So every right-handed page is an image to color in, our nice, bold and easy coloring images that we added in. So you see we've got 101 pages of all of these activities. I'm obviously not going to go through all of them and show you them all, but you can see the images we've got in our book and what our book looks like. And of course, one final check for the front cover. Everything seems to be in place and looks really good and exactly what we wanted it to look like from our Canva file. So once you're happy, just go ahead and press approve. And then you can finally go all the way to the final section. Just press save and continue where it comes to the pricing of your book. So when it comes to territories, generally just keep this selected, all territories. You want to target as many territories as you possibly can. The primary marketplace is locked in place because you selected that earlier. And now it comes to setting the price of your book. Now, the price of your book actually comes down to, competition, where your competitors' books are priced at. Do you think yours is better or worse? Basically adjusting the price. You can change your price once you have uploaded your book. So don't worry, this price isn't fixed forever. You can literally go in and change the price whenever you want. But we're just going to go ahead and put $8.99 for this book. And this basically means it's going to cost us $2.84 to print. We sell it for $8.99. Which means we make $2.55 every single time this book sells. You can then also tick expanded distribution here, which basically means large distributors may add our books to their catalog outside of Amazon. You get much lower royalties here, but I guess low royalty is better than no royalty. So always just click expanded distribution. But 99% of our sales on our revenue is going to come from Amazon, and $2.55 every single time we sell this book. So if we sell it 10 times in a day, we've made $25. If we sell it 100 times, we've made $255 in a day. You can start to see why this business can be so good because this is just one simple book. Then it's up to you what you want to do with the other prices. Generally, just for the sake of making it neat, I will round it to the nearest 99. So at the moment it's £7.9. I then just round this down to £6.99. If it's already €8.36, I'll then just make this €8.99, which I know is not the closest, but we don't want to make it too cheap for these marketplaces. To change all of these to 99. And then all you need to do is go ahead and just press publish your paperback book, and that book will then be live on Amazon. Your work is entirely done unless you want to do some Amazon ads. It will be live on Amazon forever. People will be buying it. You'll be making royalties. And that is exactly how you upload your book to Amazon KDP. Now, I'm not actually going to upload this paperback book here because I'm actually going to give it away to one of my students in this course. So if you want to have the chance of winning access to this book and uploading it to your Amazon account, make sure you're in the Discord community, and I will be giving it away to one student in there. So make sure you're signed up to that. The link is in one of the earlier videos in this course. But that is how you upload a book to Amazon. And now everything is done. It's now time to move on to Amazon ads and really start scaling sales for this book. So now that our book is finally launched, we can just sit back and relax, right? Well, not quite. You see, the final and arguably the most important step is still to come, and that is setting up your Amazon KDP ads. Now, getting your Amazon KDP ads right is going to allow you to start making your sales as quickly as possible. So if you click the link on screen, I'll show you exactly how Amazon KDP ads work, how to set up your very first ad, and then go into super detail about auto ads and how to maximize them for KDP success.